Barry, Postecoglou's been going into the Japanese market. More to come, we think. Do you think Giovanni will go into the Dutch market?
Yeah, it would make sense because it's a market he knows inside out. But I totally agree with Mark. If it's a player, for instance, I'm just using this as an example. If it's a Joe Aribo, he'll have 3 targets written beside Joe Aribo's name, just in case somebody does come in with an offer that Rangers are thinking, right, do you know what, we will do business. But it's got to be the right offer. So I think he's organised, he's planned, he's prepared for the eventuality that could happen. Because that's just the way it is. Rangers have been open about it. They will do business if it's the right money. So he sounds in his interview that he knows what he's doing. He's already planned just in case it does happen. But I've got a sneaky feeling nobody will go, and I think they'll allow him to bring in 1 or 2.
You don't think anyone will go? Because I was going to say
Goldson's a real interesting one for me, Paul, in terms of
Yep.
contractual situation. Just what we were talking about earlier with Tony Watt. That's the one for me that if he's not going to commit, and there's nothing wrong if he thinks he can get more money or he fancies getting back down south, wants a different challenge, whatever it may be, whatever his reasons are, that's entirely up to him and good luck to him. But if I'm Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, if I'm a football club, I'm saying there's a £35 million title. There's nothing against Connor Goldson, but if you're not going to commit and he's got one eye on his move or one eye on a pre-contract, I would rather have somebody in that I know is only focusing on Rangers. And that's nothing against Goldson. He might still be able to do that, but if I'm a manager, I don't want to take that risk. So if he's not going to commit, and the signs are that at this moment he's not going to commit, I'd be looking to replace him and cashing in them next month.
I would sit him down and look at him straight in the eye and say, right, do you know what, I get if you want to go and earn 3 times the money you're getting at Rangers, but because it's that big a season, and Connor Goldson, let's be honest, is a big player for Rangers. If you're willing to give me 100%, and I need to know right now, if he says, yep, but I'm going to go, I keep him. I don't cash in, because what are you going to get from him?
What would you get?
Look at the bigger picture. Do you get 750 for him, or do you go and try and get that 35 million? I think it's a gamble worth taking.
I agree. You need to have that conversation with him and look him in the eye. But even subconsciously as a footballer, if you know what your move's going to be, or you have penned a pre-contract, or you've got 7 or 8 or 9, 10 offers to look at for the summer on a free, it can be a distraction. And then the last thing that a manager needs is a key player in that position, just ever so slightly with one eye off the ball. So if Giovanni, for example, has lined up somebody, a right central defender that he knows, whether it's on loan for Holland or somewhere permanent, whatever the circumstances may be, if I'm him, I'm thinking, I want to get that. Yeah, under normal circumstances, keep Goldson, get him signed up and let's move on, tie him down the 3-year deal. But if that's not going to be the case, I'd definitely have a niggle. And you don't want to have any niggles if you can avoid them.
I've changed my way of thinking. Like, see, if it's 4 or 5 weeks ago, I was like, if he's not going to commit, go. But I've looked at him closely. I've looked at his attitude. I've looked at his performances. I've started to creep up again to what they were. Not as good as last year, but he's starting to get there. I'm now seeing a different attitude in him. Now that's the attitude that you want to be about the club. If he's not going to commit, it's disappointing. But he's a big player.
Played every minute last season.
He is. He's just too big a player, and I like Balogun's done well. I think Hollander's Rangers' best out and out defender. I like Goldson and Hollander. I think they're a good partnership. But for me, I think you've got to keep him. You've got to try and keep, even if he's not going to commit beyond this season. I think it's too big a season, and it's worth the £35 million.
The one thing for Rangers is they've come to the end of the year and they won the title. That was the biggest thing in the year, but not a cup, Barry. And it must have irked Steven Gerrard. And Giovanni Van Bronckhorst was in the door, but he was in the stand. We know that at the cup semi-final against Hibs.
It's got to be a frustration for the management team, the board, the players, and also the fans. But they've still got one more cup to go. They've still got the Scottish Cup. Listen, the bread and butter, no doubt, is the League Championship. That's the one that you want, but they need to start winning cups as well. Disappointing against Hibs, no doubt about it. Hibs deserved it in the day, but they need to start winning domestic cups as well, and that's when they'll be going for the Scottish Cup.
Tell Alexa to launch Go Radio or listen on the Go Radio app.